Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to all of you. Today in the grade 7 in the subject chemistry we are going to continue our lesson, that is chapter 14, plant oils. In this chapter we are going to continue with the page 180. From the textbook page 180 we are going to see the lesson. We are going to continue the lesson here, and let's see, open the page 180 and let's see what are the objectives of the today's lesson. So here particularly we are going to talk about the food additives, and there are some direct food additives, some indirect food additives. Also we are going to talk about different types of food additives and what is their role and function of food additives. Also here, when we are talking about the role and function of food additives, there we are going to talk about the advantages of the food additives. Here also we are going to see about the coding of food additives. There when we are talking about the coding, there we are going to see that food safety and food additives. Food safety, how the food safety is there in the food additives, and also the preservation, that is the preservatives and antioxidants that which we are going to use here in these food products, that why we are adding the preservatives and why we are adding the antioxidants and all this. That is what we are going to see here in the today's discussion. So let's talk about the food additives. You have been seeing that there is a sweets in the market, and these are the sweets which are being colored sweets you are observing here. So now what the food additives are? The food additives are the substances added to products to perform specific technological functions, and they are also being permitted food. There are permitted food additives are each given as E number. E number is given for each food additives, and these functions include preserving, that is increasing shelf life. Also it is being adding coloring and flavoring to food for interest and variety. So these are the different food additives which we are adding in this. So now here we are well known about the sarbat fruits, where we are adding an assortment of fruit flavor sweets with sarbat cracknel center, and there are some ingredients in that ingredients what we see that is glucose syrup, sugar, hydrogenated vegetable oil, flavorings, colors, and I told you about the E number. So here the E number is E124, E141, E100, E110, contains 23% sarbat, that is 250 gram. And furthermore here we are talking about these are the permitted food additives. Now the food additives, as I told you, a substance which may, or the substance may by its intended use, it can be used intentionally and become a component of a food. When you are adding it intentionally in the food product, we can say that it can be a component of the food, and either directly or indirectly, or which may be otherwise affect the characteristics of the food. That is, it includes any substance intended for use in the producing, manufacturing, processing, preparing, treating. These are the ways by which you are adding the food additives in that, and these are for the preparing, treating, packaging, transporting, as well as for holding food and any source of radiation intended for such use. So these are the food additives. Now here there are some major purposes, there are some requirements why we are going to add these food additives in the food products. So here the first thing that we are going to see here, that is to provide nutrition. How does it provide the nutrition? It when it is added to improve or maintain the nutritional quality of the food. For example, the addition of iodine to salt has contributed the virtual elimination of simple goiter. Goiter is a disease and this can be we can eliminate this kind of disease by adding the addition of iodine in the salt. Now the next is about the addition of vitamin D to milk and other dairy products has accomplished the same thing with respect to risks rate, and the Niacin in bread, cornmeal and cereals has helped eliminate pellagra disease characterized by central nervous system and the skin disorders. So the another food additives we are adding, that is to purpose is the why we are adding the food additives. The another purpose is to maintain the product quality and freshness. So fresh foods do not stay that way for long periods of time, and they rapidly deteriorate, turn rancid and spoil. So food additives delay significantly this deterioration and prevent spoilage caused by growth of microorganisms, bacteria, yeast, and also by oxidation. So that's the reason that we are adding the food additives in that. For example, if we are to cut slices of fresh fruits such as apples, bananas or pears, they would rapidly turn brown as result of this oxidation process. So we have observed these kind of things in case of the different fruits like apples, bananas and pears. If you make them the slices, we find that they are rapidly turning to brown. So this is because of the oxidation in them. The third thing that we are adding the additives, food additives in food product, that to aid the processing and preservation and the preparation of foods. So here preparation of foods, we are adding the additives to impart or maintain certain desirable qualities associated with the various foods. For example, we expect salad dressing to stay mixed once they have been shaken, and emulsifiers also we are adding, such as lichen and from soybeans, maintain mixture and improve texture in the dressing and other foods. So they are used in ice cream where smoothness is desired. Leaveners used to make bread, biscuits, yeast, baking powder and rolls rice include baking soda. So these are the food additives we are adding in the food. The last, that is about to make the food appealing, that is, unless food look appetizing and appeal to our senses, they will most likely go uneaten and valuable nutrients will be lost. Food additives such as flavoring agents and enhancers, coloring agents and sweeteners are included by food processors because we demand foods that look and taste good. So here are the some E numbers that are given for different food additives. So here E number is given in this chart. We can see that E100 to E181, that is for coloring, E200 to 290, that is for preservatives, E296 to 385, that is for antioxidant and acids, E400 to 495 emulsifiers and stabilizers, E500 to 585 anti-cracking agents and mineral salts. So here are the E numbers, that is 620 to 640, which are used as flavor enhancer, and E900 to E1520 others such as wax glaze or on the fruit. So such kind of food additives are added based on their E number range. So now the colorings, why there is need of doing the coloring in that. The main aim of the coloring is restore color lost during the processing or storage, for example marrowfat peas, and ensure that each batch that produced is identical in appearance or does not appear off. So the other thing, that is reinforce the color already in foods, for example enhance the yellowness of custard. The third thing, that is give color to foods which otherwise would be colorless, for example soft drinks, and so make them more attractive, for making them attractive, as we are drinking the color that the soft drinks, that you are well aware about their colors and all this. So this is the aim of the colors. Now here the certain combinations of the following artificial food colors are also there. That is as I told you, that for the E numbers it is being given. So here the some examples are there. Also we are using these colors are used in the soft drinks, as I told, and the sweets and the ice cream. So the Food Standards Agency suggests, if signs of hyperactivity or attention deficit hyperactivity disorders are seen in a child, these additives should be avoided. So this is also the precautions that we have to take in this case. Now the next that is about the slide. I have been showing here the picture for the ice cream, where you are being adding the color in that to look it beautiful. So this is about the ice cream. And now the preservatives, the role and functions of food additives in the food. The preservatives, why we are being adding the preservatives, as we are talking about it, and it is for the prevent the growth of microorganisms which could cause food spoilage and lead to food poisoning. So this is when you add the preservatives, this stop the spoilage as well as the leading it to poisoning. So next is about the extend the keeping it for long period of time, that is shelf life of products, so that they can be distributed and sold to the customer with a longer shelf life. And these example of this is, for example, bacon, ham, corn, beef and other curd meats are often treated with nitrate and nitrate during the nitrate and nitrite during the curing processes. So these are the food preservatives we are adding, their functions, and are the chemicals, the food preservatives, which are the chemicals, chemical substances added to foods to improve flavor, texture, color, appearance and consistency, or as preservatives during the manufacturing or processing. So here are some examples, that is herbs, spices, herbs, salt is water, air and protein, hydrolysates are excluded from this. Hydroxylates are excluded from these definitions. So there are over 300 permitted additives that can be used in the UK, and the flavoring are not included in this figure, as there are over 3000 flavoring components in UK which is there in the use of this kind of the food preservatives. And international organization also provide advice on the safety of the flavoring. So because of that we can have the control on it. So here the preservatives that includes any substance that intended for use in producing, manufacturing, processing, preparing, treating, packaging, transporting or holding food, and any source of radiation intended for such use. And these are the there are some 4 direct food additives are there, which are of 93% of the total food additives, and they are like sucrose, salt, corn syrup and dextrose. These are the 4 food additives which are being used as the product. So here we have seen that the margarines in our last lesson, that here this picture shows this margarine contains preservatives E200, that is sorbic acid, E270, that is lactic acid, and vitamin E. So this is there in the margarine. So this about the preservatives. And the last part, that is about the antioxidants. There are some antioxidant agents we are adding. Why we are adding the antioxidant agent? That is prevent food containing fat or oil from going rancid due to oxidation, that is developing an unpleasant odor or flavor. So we are adding the antioxidant in that. And prevent the browning of cut fruit. As I told you about the apple, banana and pears, we can, if we cut, we will find them that they are turning brown because of the oxidation process. And here the vegetables and fruit juices are also being prevented from this. So here some examples are here: vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid, or E300, is one of the most widely used antioxidants. So with this about the food additives, their advantages, colorings, preservatives, and why they are being used, as there are some antioxidants agents are also being used, why we are using all this. So with this I conclude the today's lesson, and till then I will come with the new video for the further lesson, and till then thank you and goodbye.